A simple hug from a kind waitress healed a little girl's broken heart and taught her, Billionaire father, what love truly means. Ethan Carter was a man who had everything anyone could ever dream of. He was a billionaire. His name was known all over the world. People admired him for his wealth, his luxurious lifestyle, and his incredible business skills. He owned a huge mansion that looked like it had come out of a movie. Private jet, fancy cars, and more expensive clothes than he could ever wear in a lifetime. Yet, despite all the money, all the success, and all the luxury, Ethan felt a deep emptiness inside. No amount of wealth could fill the hole in his heart. The reason for that emptiness was simple, but painful. Ethan had lost his wife, Emily, 3 years ago in a car accident. She was young, kind, and the love of his life. She had been the heart of his world, the person who understood him in ways no one else ever could. Their life together had seemed perfect. They laughed together, traveled together, and most importantly, they loved their little daughter, Lily, more than anything. Losing Emily had shattered Ethan. He had tried to keep himself busy with work, hoping that money, meetings, and business deals would distract him from the grief, but nothing worked. Lily, their only daughter, was now 6 years old. She was small, with bright eyes that often seemed sad, as though she carried the memory of her mother everywhere she went. She had her mother's smile and her father's determination. But Ethan could see that she missed her mom deeply. Some days, she would sit in her room, hugging her favorite stuffed toy, staring at her mother's photo, and whispering, "I wish Mommy was here." Those moments broke Ethan's heart. He wanted to fix her sadness, to bring back the light in her eyes. But he didn't know how. He tried to fill the gap Emily had left. He bought Lily every toy she asked for, from expensive dolls to electronic gadgets. He took her on trips to Disneyland, to the beach, to places she had always dreamed of going. He decorated her room with the finest furniture, painted the walls in bright, cheerful colors, and made sure she had every comfort a child could want. On the outside, they lived a life that most people would envy. But inside, Ethan knew something important was missing. All the money and luxury could not replace a mother's love. Lily could have every toy in the world, but what she wanted most was someone to hug her, comfort her when she was sad, and hold her hand when she felt scared. One rainy morning, Ethan woke up and looked at Lily sleeping beside him. He watched her small face, peaceful but sad, and felt a pang of guilt. He knew he couldn't bring Emily back, but maybe he could do something else. He wanted to make Lily happy, even if it was just for a little while. He wanted her to feel love and warmth, something that money alone could not provide. After thinking for a while, he decided to take her out for breakfast at a small cafe he had heard about. It was not fancy or expensive. It was simple and cozy, the kind of place where people laughed and shared small joys. He hoped that maybe, just maybe, this change of scenery would cheer her up. When they arrived at the cafe, Lily's eyes lit up slightly. She had never been to a place like this before. It smelled of fresh bread and coffee, and there was a quiet warmth that made the air feel safe. The tables were small, and the chairs were colorful. There were drawings on the walls made by children, showing happy families, smiling sun, and bright green trees. Lily's small hands gripped the edge of the table as she looked around curiously. For the first time in weeks, Ethan noticed a small smile on her lips. It wasn't a big smile, but it was there, and he clung to it like a lifeline. The cafe was busy, but not crowded. People were chatting softly, some reading newspapers, some typing on laptops. Ethan chose a table by the window so Lily could watch the outside world. She loved looking at people passing by, especially the children who played in the rain puddles outside. Ethan ordered pancakes, Lily's favorite, and some juice. They sat quietly at first, listening to the sound of rain tapping against the windows. There was a calmness here that Ethan hadn't felt in years. It was simple, quiet, and ordinary. But it felt like a small oasis away from their lonely world. Then the waitress came to their table. Her name was Anna. She was young, in her 20s, with a kind smile and gentle eyes. She noticed Lily right away. Most people would have seen her as just another rich child with a father who had too much money, but Anna saw more. She saw the sadness behind Lily's eyes. She saw the quiet longing in the way she hugged her toy. Anna had experienced loss in her own life. She knew that a child's heart could be heavy. Even if the world seemed bright around them, Anna knelt down slightly to speak to Lily, her voice soft and friendly. "Hi there, sweetheart. Are you okay today?" Lily looked up, her eyes big and a little wet. She hesitated, then whispered, "I miss my mom. She used to hug me before school. She's not here anymore." Anna felt a sharp pain in her heart. She reached out and gently hugged Lily, wrapping her arms around the small girl. Lily stiffened at first, surprised by the warmth, and then slowly relaxed. She rested her head on Anna's shoulder and let herself feel the comfort she had been missing for so long. Ethan, sitting across the table, watched everything happen. He felt a strange mix of emotions, relief, gratitude, and something he hadn't felt in a long time, hope. Seeing Anna hug his daughter like that stirred something deep inside him. He realized that no amount of money or luxury could do what a simple act of kindness could. In that moment, he understood that Lily didn't need more toys or bigger houses. She needed love, warmth, and attention. She needed someone who could see her, truly see her, can care without thinking about what they could gain. As Lily hugged Anna, she whispered softly, "Thank you." Anna smiled and patted her back gently. Ethan felt tears prick his eyes. It was a small moment, just a hug, but it meant the world to him. For the first time in a long while, he saw Lily's eyes sparkle a little, as if a tiny piece of her happiness had returned. And in that moment, Ethan realized something important. Even in a world full of wealth and success, the simplest gestures of love and care were more powerful than anything money could buy. They finished their breakfast quietly. Lily laughed a little while, talking about her favorite cartoons. Ethan felt a lightness he hadn't felt in years. He knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. The sadness and loss would still be there, but he also knew that today, something had changed. A small spark of hope had been lit in their lives, and he vowed to nurture it. No matter what, Ethan left the cafe that morning with a new understanding. Life had taken a lot from them, but it had also given them something precious, the chance to heal, the chance to find kindness in unexpected places, and the chance to experience moments of real love that money could never buy. And for Lily, the warmth of a stranger's hug had reminded her heart that love still existed in the world. The cafe had a warm and inviting atmosphere that morning. Soft sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the small tables and chairs in a gentle glow. The smell of fresh coffee and baked goods mixed with the aroma of warm bread, creating a comforting environment. Ethan and Lily had chosen a table near the corner, close to a small bookshelf filled with children's books. Lily's eyes wandered over the colorful spines, her fingers brushing lightly against the covers as if she could feel the stories inside. She seemed slightly distracted by the books, but her sadness lingered just beneath the surface. It was then that Anna, the young waitress, approached their table. Anna had been working at the cafe for a few years. She had seen many children come and go, but there was something about Lily that caught her attention immediately. Perhaps it was the quietness in her eyes, or the way she held her toy tightly, as if it were the only thing keeping her safe. Anna had experienced loss in her own life, losing her mother when she was just a teenager, and she knew the signs of a child who missed someone deeply. Her heart went out to Lily instantly. "Good morning," Anna said softly, leaning slightly toward Lily with a gentle smile. Her voice was calm, soothing, and filled with warmth. "Are you feeling okay today, sweetheart?" Lily looked up slowly, her large eyes glistening with unshed tears. She hesitated, unsure if she should speak. There was a part of her that didn't want to trouble anyone, a part that had grown quiet after losing her mother. But something in Anna's kind gaze made her feel safe. It's like it was okay to express the sadness she had been holding inside. After a long pause, Lily whispered, I miss my mom. She used to hug me every morning before school. She's not here anymore." Her voice trembled, and her small hands clenched her toy tightly against her chest. Anna's heart tightened at hearing the words. She had never met this little girl before, but in that moment, she felt a deep connection to her pain. She knelt down slightly so that she was at Lily's eye level, speaking softly so her tone wouldn't overwhelm the child. "Oh, sweetheart," Anna said, her voice full of empathy. She extended her arms gently and hugged Lily, wrapping the little girl in warmth and comfort. Lily stiffened at first, unsure what to do, but slowly she relaxed. She rested her small head against Anna's shoulder and allowed herself to feel a sense of safety. She had been missing for so long. It was a simple gesture, yet it carried a depth of care that money could never buy. A love that came purely from a compassionate heart. Ethan watched silently from across the table, his eyes fixed on the scene unfolding before him. He felt a strange mix of emotions, relief, gratitude, and an unfamiliar sense of hope. For the first time in years, he saw Lily's face soften. A small smile tugged at her lips as she leaned into the embrace. Ethan felt a lump in his throat. He realized that all the toys, the trips, and the luxuries he had bought her could never replace this human warmth. Understanding and care, Anna stayed with Lily for a few moments longer, patting her back gently and whispering kind words. She didn't rush, didn't look at her watch, and didn't care about the other customers waiting for service. Her focus was entirely on Lily. "It's okay to feel sad," Anna said softly. "Missing someone shows how much you loved them. Your mom would be so proud of you." Lily's small lips quivered, but she nodded, absorbing the words. Something in her heart seemed to lift slightly. For the first time in a long time, she felt understood. After the hug, Lily's mood began to change subtly. She held Anna's hand briefly and said in a small voice, "Thank you for hugging me." Anna smiled warmly, squeezing her hand gently. "You're very welcome, sweetie. You deserve to feel loved every day." Lily's eyes sparkled just a little more than before, and she let herself relax in a way she hadn't in months. Ethan's heart ached and rejoiced at the same time. He had never seen someone touch his daughter's heart so deeply with something as simple as a hug. The breakfast continued with a different energy in the air. Lily, encouraged by Anna's kindness, began to engage more with her surroundings. She peeked at the drawings on the wall, asking Anna about the colors and the shapes. Anna, smiling, answered her questions patiently and even shared a few little stories about the children who had drawn them. Ethan listened quietly, amazed at how quickly Anna had managed to draw Lily out of her shell. He realized that sometimes kindness and attention were more powerful than any material possession. Anna also noticed Ethan watching her. She felt a gentle understanding pass between them. She didn't see him as a rich businessman, not at all. She saw a father who loved his daughter desperately but didn't know how to fill the emptiness left by her mother, and she felt a quiet respect for him. There was no arrogance, no expectations, just a man who was trying to do his best with the limited tools he had. For Ethan, this realization was humbling. He had always been used to people flattering him for his wealth or status, but Anna treated him with sincerity and respect as the morning went on. Lily began to laugh softly at Anna's little jokes. She asked Anna about her own life, and Anna shared simple, relatable stories about growing up, about missing her mother, and about the things that had made her strong. Lily listened intently, fascinated. She realized she wasn't the only one who had lost someone she loved, and that made her feel less alone. Ethan watched, feeling an unfamiliar warmth in his chest. He had always wanted Lily to be happy, but he hadn't known that happiness could come from a stranger's kindness. The interaction between Anna and Lily had a quiet, transformative effect. Lily's sadness was not gone. It couldn't disappear with a single hug, but it had softened. She had felt empathy, understanding, and comfort. She had felt seen. And Ethan realized that the most important lesson here was that love didn't always come from family or money. It could come from a simple, caring human being. He decided then that he would encourage this bond as long as it made his daughter's life better. Before leaving the cafe that morning, Ethan approached Anna. "Thank you," he said softly. "You didn't just hug my daughter. You reminded her what it feels like to feel safe and loved." Anna smiled, shaking her head. "I didn't do anything special. I just listened and cared. That's all any child needs sometimes." Ethan felt tears prick at his eyes. He realized how much he had missed this human connection that wasn't based on wealth or power. He felt grateful, not just for Anna's kindness to Lily, but for the reminder that real love could still exist in the world. As they stepped outside, the rain had stopped, leaving glistening streets that reflected the morning sunlight. Lily skipped slightly, holding Ethan's hand and glancing back at the cafe. "Can we come again tomorrow?" she asked, her small voice filled with hope. Ethan smiled, holding her hand tightly. "Yes, we can, sweetheart. We can come as often as you want." He realized that their lives, which had felt lonely and cold for so long, were beginning to change in small but meaningful ways. That day marked the start of something new. It wasn't just a simple breakfast at a cafe, it was the beginning of a connection that would bring warmth, healing, and unexpected joy into their lives. For Ethan, it was a lesson in humility and love. For Lily, it was a lesson in hope and trust. And for Anna, it was a quiet reminder of how powerful a simple act of kindness could be. By the time they returned to their car, Ethan felt a renewed determination. He promised himself that he would nurture this spark, that he would let Lily experience the love she deserved, and that he would never underestimate the power of a simple human connection. Little did he know, this small encounter with a kind-hearted waitress would soon change everything about their lives in ways he could never have imagined. After that first morning at the cafe, something quietly changed in their lives. Lily began looking forward to the small trips with her father, but more than that, she looked forward to seeing Anna again. The little girl had experienced a type of kindness she had never felt before, a warmth that came not from toys, gifts, or money, but from genuine care and attention. Anna had treated her like someone who mattered not because of who her father was, not because of her money, but because she saw Lily's heart. And Lily responded to that honesty with trust and affection. Ethan noticed the change immediately. After weeks of seeing Lily withdrawn and sad, he saw her smile more often. She laughed at small things, shared her thoughts, and even asked him to read her favorite bedtime stories at night. He realized that even though he had done everything he could with material things, none of it had the power to touch her heart like Anna's attention did. There was something in the way Anna had interacted with Lily, her patience, her gentle voice, and her quiet understanding that made Ethan realize how little he knew about what his daughter truly needed. Ethan began taking Lily to the cafe more often. They would go on weekends, sometimes just for a few hours, sometimes for longer breakfasts. Anna would always greet them with a smile, her eyes lighting up when she saw Lily. She had begun to notice little things about the girl, the way she loved strawberry jam on her pancakes, how she liked to draw flowers with different colors, and how she sometimes hummed softly when she was thinking. These small details mattered. They mattered more than anything Ethan had ever tried to give her. As days turned into weeks, a bond began to form. Lily would run to Anna as soon as she saw her, and Anna would kneel down, open her arms, and embrace her. These hugs had become a ritual, a source of comfort for the little girl. Ethan watched from nearby tables, often in silence, observing how naturally Anna and Lily connected. It wasn't forced or awkward. There was no pretense. Anna's attention was sincere and Lily's responses were real. This authenticity touched Ethan in a way he hadn't expected. He found himself admiring Anna not for her appearance or charm, but for her heart. Anna, too, had begun to feel a quiet attachment to the little family. She had grown up understanding loss and hardship, and seeing Lily reminded her of herself when she had been a child missing someone important. She didn't think about Ethan's wealth or status. She simply wanted to make a difference in this little girl's life. She started bringing small treats for Lily, sometimes extra coloring books, sometimes a new toy that wasn't expensive but fun. She shared stories with Lily, telling her about the small joys of life, how kindness could make even the heaviest heart lighter. And Lily responded with laughter and curiosity, learning that even after sadness, happiness could find its way back into her life. Ethan began to trust Anna, at first. He had felt a quiet hesitation, the kind of protective feeling a father has for his child. He wanted to ensure that Lily's comfort was not temporary, that Anna's presence wasn't fleeting. But he quickly realized that Anna's care was genuine. She didn't flinch at his questions about her life. She didn't hesitate when Lily ran to her with a question or request. Anna treated the girl like she mattered because she genuinely did. That realization filled Ethan with a quiet relief. For so long, he had worried that no one could truly understand what Lily needed. Now, he began to feel hope that maybe, just maybe, someone could dot the bond between Anna and Lily. Also taught Ethan an important lesson about himself. He noticed how much he had relied on money and gifts to solve problems, not realizing that emotional connection mattered far more. He reflected on how he had tried to distract his daughter from her grief instead of understanding it, and he felt both regret and determination. He promised himself he would do better not just with gifts or luxuries, but by being present, by showing love in ways Lily could truly feel. Anna's example had quietly reshaped the way he thought about parenting, and he found himself learning from someone much younger, someone he would never have thought could teach him so much. Over the weeks, their visits became a cherished routine. Ethan noticed that Lily would wake up excited on cafe days, picking out what she wanted to wear, humming little tunes, and talking to her father about what she hoped to do. Even small gestures, like holding hands with Anna while walking to the table, brought comfort and joy. Ethan would sometimes catch himself smiling quietly, marveling at how someone he had only just met could have such a positive impact on his daughter. It was a feeling of gratitude he couldn't describe, thankfulness for the light that had returned to their lives. Anna also started opening up to Ethan slowly, sharing pieces of her own story. She told him about her childhood, how she had lost her mother young, and how she had worked hard to support her younger brother. She explained how much she valued kindness and empathy, not because it made her famous or wealthy, but because she believed in the power of genuine human connection. Ethan listened carefully, admiring her strength and resilience. He realized that Anna's compassion came from real-life experiences, from understanding pain and loss, which made her presence in Lily's life even more meaningful. The cafe had become more than just a place for breakfast. It had become a place of healing. Lily laughed more freely there, asked questions, and began expressing herself creatively. She drew little pictures for Anna, little gifts to show her gratitude. Anna would hang these drawings on a special wall in the cafe, making Lily feel proud and seen. Ethan watched, moved by the way these small acts of kindness were shaping his daughter's confidence and happiness. The bond they were forming was powerful, not just emotionally, but spiritually. It was showing him that healing could begin in the simplest ways: a smile, a hug, or a moment of genuine attention. Ethan started noticing changes in himself too. He became more patient with Lily, more willing to listen, and more eager to create meaningful moments with her, rather than just buying expensive distractions. He observed Anna's interactions and realized that love and attention were the greatest gifts anyone could give. Watching the two of them together, he felt an unexpected gratitude for Anna's presence in their lives. She had unknowingly become a teacher, showing him how to nurture, care, and heal. One afternoon, as the sunlight streamed through the cafe windows, Lily asked Anna if she could stay a little longer to read a story together. Anna smiled warmly and agreed. They sat on a small rug in the corner of the cafe, reading picture books, laughing at the silly drawings and sharing imaginative tales. Ethan observed quietly, feeling a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. He realized that the love Anna was giving Lily wasn't just making her happy, it was teaching her how to trust, how to open her heart, and how to find joy again. By the end of that day, Ethan felt something shift within himself. He knew that Anna's presence in their lives was more than just temporary kindness. It was the beginning of something profound. She wasn't replacing Lily's mother, of course, but she was providing a bridge for healing, for laughter, and for the return of happiness in small, meaningful doses. Ethan felt hope stirring in his heart, a feeling he hadn't allowed himself to experience since Emily's death. He began imagining a life where Lily could smile freely again, where his daughter could feel loved and safe without the shadows of loss hanging over her. Little did Ethan know, these small, simple routines of visiting the cafe, sharing breakfast, and spending time with Anna were quietly building the foundation of something extraordinary. What started as a single act of kindness, the hug Anna gave, Lily had sparked a series of events that would transform their lives in ways Ethan could never have imagined. Anna's genuine care had reached deep into their hearts, creating a bond that was slowly, surely shaping the future. And for Lily, these visits were magical. She felt understood, cared for, and loved in a way that money had never been able to provide. The laughter, the hugs, the stories, and the attention became treasures in her young life. She looked forward to seeing Anna more than anything else, and the happiness in her small heart grew with each visit. Ethan, seeing his daughter smile and laugh so freely, felt a joy he hadn't thought possible since Emily's passing, by spending time together in the cafe. The three of them were not just forming a friendship, they were forming a bond that was slowly becoming like family. And though no one could predict the future, Ethan began to realize that this unexpected connection might be exactly what they all needed: a small spark of love, care, and understanding that could slowly fill the emptiness they had been carrying for so long. It was a rainy evening when something unexpected happened that would change everything. Ethan and Lily were driving home from a long day out, the rain pouring down in heavy sheets, turning the streets shiny and slippery. Lily sat quietly in her car seat, watching raindrops slide down the window, occasionally tapping her fingers against the glass. Ethan drove carefully, but his mind was elsewhere, thinking about the recent weeks, how Lily had started smiling more, how Anna's presence had brought warmth back into their lives, and how the little moments at the cafe had slowly begun to heal their hearts. Suddenly, the car sputtered and slowed, then came to a complete stop in the middle of the street. Ethan's heart sank. The rain was falling harder now, and the nearest gas station was blocks away. He tried the ignition again, but the engine wouldn't start. Panic crept in, not for himself, but for Lily. He glanced at her small face, her big eyes watching him, and felt a surge of protectiveness. The world outside seemed cold and unkind, but inside the car, he promised himself he would keep her safe no matter what. Seeing the car stranded, Anna, who was passing by the street in the cafe's delivery car, noticed them immediately. She had finished her shift and was heading home, but her eyes caught sight of Ethan's familiar car. She had grown accustomed to watching over Lily in small ways, and something about seeing them in trouble made her heart race. Without hesitation, she parked quickly and ran toward the car, holding her umbrella above her head. Water dripped from her hair and clothes, but she didn't care. All she could think about was keeping Lily safe and dry. Lily. "Ethan, are you okay?" Anna called, her voice warm and concerned. Lily's face lit up instantly, relief washing over her. "Anna?" she exclaimed, pointing excitedly. Ethan opened the car door, grateful beyond words, and nodded. "Yes, we're okay. Just the car broke down," he said. Anna didn't hesitate. She held her umbrella over both Ethan and Lily, guiding them toward her car and inviting them to wait inside until the tow truck arrived. Her quick thinking and care immediately eased Ethan's worry. Inside Anna's car, they were dry and safe. She handed Lily a small towel to wipe her damp hair and offered hot chocolate she had brought from the cafe earlier. Lily sipped it slowly, smiling shyly at Anna, who was clearly drenched but still focused on them. Ethan felt a warmth in his chest he hadn't realized he was missing. He had spent so long shielding Lily from pain, shielding himself from sadness, but Anna's actions showed him something he hadn't experienced in years: pure, selfless care. It was not about money, status, or recognition. It was about love. While they waited for the tow truck, Ethan and Anna began talking. At first, the conversation was simple, practical, discussing the car, how long it might take for help to arrive, and where they could go afterward. But gradually, the conversation shifted. Ethan found himself opening up to Anna in ways he hadn't with anyone in years. He spoke about his wife's death, about the emptiness he felt, and about the struggles of raising Lily alone. His voice was low, tinged with pain and vulnerability, but Anna didn't flinch. She listened, her eyes full of understanding, nodding occasionally, and letting him speak without judgment or interruption. Anna, in turn, shared parts of her own life. She spoke softly about losing her mother at a young age, about the hardships she had faced while raising her younger brother, and about the importance of kindness and empathy in a world that often overlooked it. She did not speak to impress or to gain anything. She simply spoke to connect, to share her experiences honestly. Ethan felt something shift within him. Here was someone who understood, not just the pain of loss, but the strength required to move forward despite it. And she cared not for his wealth or power, but for him and Lily, as people, as the rain tapped against the car windows. Lily drew close to Anna, resting her head on her shoulder while listening to their conversation. It was a small moment, almost imperceptible, but Ethan watched closely. He saw trust and comfort in Lily's eyes, a light he hadn't seen for months. He realized that Anna's presence was not only helping Lily heal, but was quietly giving him courage too. Her compassion reminded him that he didn't have to carry the burden of grief alone, that love could be found in unexpected places, and that people could genuinely care without expecting anything in return. The tow truck arrived eventually, but the evening had already left its mark. The simple act of Anna rushing to help them, the warmth she provided in the storm, and the heartfelt conversation had all shifted something fundamental in their lives. Ethan saw clearly that Anna's role in their lives had grown beyond that of a kind stranger. She was becoming a part of their small family in ways that mattered deeply. When they finally arrived home, Ethan noticed something different in Lily. She was quiet at first, thoughtful, and then she ran to her room, hugging her favorite toy and whispering, "Mommy would have liked Anna. She's kind and caring." Ethan's heart ached, but in a good way. He felt gratitude, relief, and hope all at once. He realized that the little sparks of love Anna had been bringing into their lives were starting to light up the darkness they had been living in for so long. That evening, Ethan reflected on everything that had happened. He remembered all the attempts he had made to make Lily happy, expensive toys, extravagant trips, and all the luxuries his money could buy. Yet none of them had worked in the same way a simple hug, a kind word, or a caring presence had done. He realized that what Lily needed most was not wealth or gifts, but genuine attention, compassion, and love. Anna had provided that effortlessly, and in doing so, she had touched both Lily's heart and his own. In the following days, the bond between Anna, Ethan, and Lily grew even stronger. Ethan began to see Anna not just as a friend or helper, but as someone who could bring healing into their lives. He invited her to share more time with Lily outside the cafe, to visit their home for small breakfasts or play dates. Anna agreed, not out of obligation, but out of genuine affection for Lily. Each visit strengthened the bond further. Lily's laughter grew louder, her curiosity returned, and Ethan saw hope and joy slowly rekindling in her small heart. Ethan also noticed changes in himself. He became more patient, more willing to talk openly with Lily, and more mindful of her feelings. He listened to Anna, learning how a simple act of kindness could have a ripple effect on people's lives. He realized that love wasn't about grand gestures or expensive gifts. It was about attention, presence, and authenticity. The moments with Anna reminded him that family could be more than just blooded, could be people who genuinely care and bring light into your life when you least expect it. One afternoon, while watching Anna and Lily draw together at the kitchen table, Ethan felt a sense of calm and happiness he hadn't known in years. The two of them laughed over simple drawings, shared little jokes, and exchanged stories. Anna's patient guidance and encouragement brought out Lily's creativity, and Lily's joy brought warmth into Ethan's heart. He realized that the bond forming between them was something rare and beautiful. It was not just about helping a child heal. It was about forming a family based on trust, love, and mutual care. By the time the days passed, Ethan knew that Anna's presence had become indispensable. Lily's happiness, the laughter in the house, and the warmth in their hearts were all connected to her. He realized that Anna had given them something money could never buy: a chance to heal, a chance to feel loved again, and a chance to rediscover joy in the little things. That rainy evening had been more than just a car breaking down. It had been a turning point, a moment that brought Anna into their lives in a deeper way than ever before. It reminded Ethan that life could surprise you with kindness, that love could come from unexpected places, and that even in moments of fear or discomfort, human connection could bring healing and hope. As Ethan watched Lily hug Anna tightly that evening, He whispered quietly to himself, This is what we needed. Not wealth, not luxury, but love. Real love. He felt a sense of gratitude so profound it was hard to describe. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to believe that life could be full of happiness again. That Lily could smile without sadness, that his heart could heal alongside hers. The events of that rainy day became a memory that Ethan would treasure forever, not because of drama or danger, but because it showed him the power of a kind heart. Anna's courage, empathy, and care had changed their lives quietly but permanently. And for Lily, the stormy evening had been transformed into a story of safety, warmth, and trust, a story she would remember as the moment her heart began to open to happiness again. The weeks after the rainy evening passed in a flurry of small, beautiful moments that slowly stitched Ethan, Lily, and Anna's lives together. It was a winter morning when Ethan decided to make Lily's birthday extra special. He wanted it to be more than just gifts and cakes. He wanted it to be a day filled with laughter, warmth, and genuine love, something money could never buy. He called Anna quietly a few days before, asking if she could come to the celebration. Anna hesitated at first, thinking she might be intruding. But when Lily heard the news, her face lit up with a joy so pure that Anna immediately agreed. On the day of Lily's birthday, Ethan had decorated the house with colorful balloons and ribbons. There was a small table in the corner, stacked with presents. But the most important gift, he realized, wasn't wrapped in paper or tied with a bow. It was the presence of someone who truly cared about his daughter, someone who had slowly become a source of love, trust, and comfort. Lily ran around the house, squealing with excitement, her little feet patting against the floor as she waited for Anna's arrival. When the doorbell rang, Lily's tiny hands flew to her mouth in delight. "Anna!" she shouted, running to the door before Ethan could even reach it. Anna knelt down to greet her, opening her arms for the little girl to run into. Lily hugged her tightly, whispering, "I'm so happy you came. I told Daddy to invite you." Anna laughed softly, hugging her back. In that simple moment, Ethan watched from the doorway, feeling a wave of emotion he couldn't put into words. He realized that happiness could be found not in wealth, cars, or trips, but in these pure, heartfelt connections. The party began simply. They sang the birthday song, Lily blew out the candles on her small cake, and she unwrapped presents one by one. But her favorite moments were not the toys or the treats, they were the quiet, personal moments she shared with Anna. Anna helped her open a book she had wanted, sat beside her while she drew a picture, and even joined her in a little game they created together. Ethan noticed how Lily's laughter had returned, full and genuine, echoing through the house in a way that filled the emptiness he had felt for years. Throughout the morning, Ethan observed the small gestures between Lily and Anna. Lily would lean into Anna's side when she laughed, and Anna would brush Lily's hair gently from her face, always patient, always attentive. Ethan's heart swelled as he watched these moments, realizing that the presence of someone who cared had the power to transform lives in ways money never could. For Lily, Anna had become more than a friend. She was a source of comfort, a guiding hand, and a figure who embodied the love she had missed so deeply from her mother. As the celebration continued, Ethan finally took a quiet moment to speak to Anna. He pulled her aside, his voice low and sincere. "Anna," he began, "I can't thank you enough. You've brought light into Lily's life. You've made her happy in ways I didn't think were possible anymore, and you've brought hope back into mine too." Anna's eyes softened, and she shook her head gently. "I didn't do anything special," she replied. "I just cared. That's all anyone can do sometimes. And Lily, she's wonderful. I'm lucky to know her." Ethan smiled, realizing that her humility and honesty were part of what made her so extraordinary. Over the next few weeks, the bond between Ethan, Lily, and Anna grew even stronger. Ethan began inviting Anna to share more time with them, not just at the cafe, but at their home, on small outings, and in quiet evenings of storytelling and play. Anna never imposed herself. She simply joined their lives in ways that were natural and nurturing. Lily adored these moments. She would talk endlessly about her day with Anna, draw pictures for her, and even ask Ethan when they could see her next. Ethan felt a deep gratitude he had never experienced before. For years, he had thought money could solve problems. But now, he realized that real happiness came from love, attention, and connection. One day, as Ethan watched Anna and Lily playing a board game on the living room floor, he noticed something profound. Anna wasn't trying to replace anyone or be a mother figure forcibly. She was simply being present, caring, and kind. And that was exactly what Lily needed. Ethan felt tears prick his eyes as he saw Lily's small face light up with laughter. Her earlier sadness almost completely replaced by joy. He realized that Anna had not only helped Lily heal, but had also helped him heal. Watching them together, he saw hope and happiness returning to their home in a way he had never imagined. It wasn't long before Ethan felt compelled to speak to Anna again, this time about something deeper. He had watched for weeks as she naturally became part of their lives, bringing love, patience, and warmth. One evening, after a quiet dinner, he took a deep breath. "Anna," he said softly, "I know this may sound sudden, but I want you to be a bigger part of our lives. Lily needs love, and so do I. Would you consider being with us, being part of our family?" Anna's eyes widened, and for a moment the room was silent. Then tears formed in her eyes, and she nodded slowly. "Yes," she whispered. I'd like that very much." The moment was quiet, yet it carried more weight than any grand gesture or gift. Lily, who had been listening nearby, ran into Anna's arms, hugging her tightly. "Now I have a mom again?" she exclaimed, her small voice full of delight and relief. Ethan joined them, holding both of them close, feeling a fullness in his heart he hadn't known for years. The three of them stood together, a family formed not by blood, but by love, trust, and genuine care. In the weeks and months that followed, life continued with a renewed sense of joy and purpose. Ethan watched as Lily thrived under Anna's care, her confidence growing, her laughter returning, and her heart opening to the happiness she deserved. Anna was patient, kind, and always attentive, ensuring that Lily felt loved every day. Ethan, in turn, became a better father, learning from Anna's example the importance of empathy, patience, and presence. Their home, once filled with silence and sorrow, now resonated with laughter, warmth, and the simple, genuine joy of family life. Anna never tried to compete with Lily's memories of her mother. She didn't try to replace Emily. Instead, she became someone who could fill the empty spaces with kindness and care, offering love that complemented what Lily had lost. And Ethan, seeing the happiness blooming in his daughter, felt a gratitude so deep it was hard to put into words. He realized that the greatest gift anyone could give was not money, luxury, or possessions. It was love, attention, and care. One quiet evening, as Ethan watched Lily and Anna bake cookies in the kitchen, he reflected on how far they had come. From the first hug at the cafe to the small moments of play and laughter at home, every step had been a journey of healing and connection. The little girl who had once felt lonely and lost was now thriving in an environment filled with love. And Ethan himself felt a joy and contentment he hadn't thought possible since Emily's passing. As the cookies baked, the three of them laughed at the flour on their hands and the mess they had created. Ethan looked at Anna and then at Lily, feeling a profound sense of peace. He knew that their family was not traditional, but it was real, and it was built on love. Anna had become more than a friend. She was a part of their lives in ways that mattered deeply, shaping their hearts and creating a future filled with hope. That day, Ethan realized that life could surprise you in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes the smallest acts, a hug, a kind word, a moment of patience, could change everything. Anna had entered their lives quietly, without expectation, and had transformed them completely. She had brought warmth, healing, and joy, showing that love could grow in the most unlikely places. And for Lily, Anna had become a mother figure, a source of comfort, and a constant reminder that happiness and love could exist even after great loss. Ethan, watching them together, understood a truth he had long forgotten. Life was not about wealth, fame, or power. It was about connection, care, and the simple, profound moments that bring joy to the heart. Anna had given them all that, and in return, she had become an irreplaceable part of their family. They laughed, they hugged, and they loved each day, a testament to the power of kindness, compassion, and human connection. In the end, their lives were forever changed, not by money or luck, but by a single act of genuine care that had grown into a bond stronger than anything Ethan could have imagined. Lily smiled again, Anna's warmth filled their home, and Ethan's heart, once heavy with grief, now carried hope, love, and gratitude. Together, they had created something rare and beautiful, family built not on fortune, but on love.